I mean, I really genuinely think that Tony Blair is descending into some sort of parody, because this is what the former Prime Minister has had to say about those people who have not taken one of the COVID vaccines. Let's hear from him.
Frankly, if you're not vaccinated at the moment and you're eligible and you've got no health reason for not being vaccinated, you're not just irresponsible. I mean, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. I mean, that is, truthfully, you are.
So he says you're an idiot. He says if you've not had the vaccine, you are an idiot. Now, I think you're entitled to hold that view. You really are. I mean, we can't be in favour of free speech here on Talk Radio without someone being entitled to the view that someone who hasn't had the vaccine is an idiot. Just as I am entitled to have the view that Tony Blair, if he thinks that him saying that is going to encourage people to take the vaccine, he's an idiot. I mean, if we're going to be handing out idiot prizes, I'd say he's probably quite far toward the top of the list. And it's a bit rich coming from him as to why people might be a little bit dubious about listening to the words of government when it comes to health advice, when, let's not forget, he has gone down as one of the most dishonest politicians of his generation. I mean, I wonder if one of the reasons he dislikes Boris Johnson so much is because they've got so much in common. I mean, we talk about this corrupt government we have at the moment who lies more easily than it breathes. Well, where did that all start? Tony Blair, Alistair Campbell, the age of spin. And so don't you dare sit there and call people idiots who don't have the vaccine, because if those people don't trust what they're being told by the government, don't trust what they're being told by the health secretary and other government ministers, well, where did that distrust start? Mr. Dodgy Dossier? Where did that start? Mr. 45-minute claim? Mr. Oh, I've got more fiction in the dossier to get us into Iraq than you'd find in a Jackie Collins novel. So don't you dare sit there and call people idiots. If you want people to take the vaccine, as I happen to agree that they should, then talk to them like they're adults. Have a conversation with them. Why don't you bring us some statistics, not from yourself, but from some credible sources as to why those people should take the vaccine? He has got a brass neck to expect people to listen to someone like him or others in authority who lie through their teeth. And it's with him that it all started. Iraq, anyone? I mean, how many lies did his government tell? How many times did he break the trust of the nation? 0344 499 1000. It's a bit rich coming from him. Do you agree? Or do you think that on this occasion, Tony Blair should be using his position as a former Prime Minister to make these sorts of points? If you do, I'm more than happy to hear from you. I just think, as always, what is the end goal with your comments? Is the end goal to make you look like you're full of virtue and you're amazing and you're so brilliant, Tony Blair, because you think everyone's an idiot? Or is your end goal to have more people take the vaccine? Because if your end goal is to have more people take the vaccine, I do not believe calling them an idiot is going to be the way to do that. I actually think that it cheapens the discourse, and I actually think it does absolutely nothing towards convincing those people that the vaccine is probably the right move. The way you do that is not to demonise them, it's not to deny them their rights, it's not to say, sorry, you can't come into a nightclub, you can't come into my house. You have a conversation with them, you talk to them, you find out what it is that they're concerned about, you find out what it is that might be side effects, might be a moral issue, might be the fact that there hasn't been a great deal of long-term testing. There is all sorts of reasons. The other night we spoke to an author of a book which looked at the way in which the vaccine was developed. Of course it was an author of a book if they're an author. Joe Miller. And I loved talking to him because he was obviously, after having followed the process by which the vaccine was developed, he was obviously very pro-vaccine. But when I asked him the question about how you deal with anti-vaxxers, he was very much the same. In as much as anti this vaccine, I should say, he was very much the same in as much as, look, let's talk to them. I try and have a conversation with them. I try and tell them what I found out in my book as to how it was developed and to how much testing went into it. And then if they agree, great. And if they don't, that's also great. But this idea that you just call them an idiot, he's an idiot. Tony Blair, you are an idiot. And the lack of trust with government started with you. Started with you. He's got a brass neck, that man.